welcome. This is Ruth, and today I've got the Love Frame die set from Tonic to show you. I'm going to show you some ideas for using this and maybe incorporating some other dies with it. So there's actually 3 dies in this set, and there's an outer oval with a stitched effect around there, and then a verso die in the centre here, which is this one, which doesn't have cutting edges on either side of it, and that means you can cut that into your card, and that gives a lovely detail. And then we've got this kind of label effect with stitching on it as well. So there's lots of different ways you can use that. You can use them all on their own, or you can use them together and incorporate maybe toppers and things into this, or sentiments. You can use it landscape, you can use it portrait. And I'm just going to have a little look, and I'll be right back with some ideas and some paper and card. And in the meantime, if you like this kind of video and you want to see more of them, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll not miss any of them. If you do enjoy it at the end too, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment to let me know what you think. So my affiliate links for everything that I use will be down below in the description of the video as usual, but let's just get started. I started to die cut this, and it's just one of those sets again that it doesn't look like it's going to do an awful lot, and yet the possibilities are absolutely endless with it. And I don't know how I'm going to make 4 things, but I could make a dozen, to be honest. First of all, I decided on some of this beautiful mulberry wine paper. That's a 12 by 12 paper pad from Tonic, and I decided that I would team it with some of this gorgeous Berry Fizz glitter card, but obviously you can use whatever you like, and I'm just going to show you how I feel this should be balanced on the card. So I've gone ahead and I have die cut 3 of the large ovals, and you can see the detail in that is really, really beautiful, that sort of stitched edging around it. So that's just 3 of these, and 2 of them are just staying as they are, and on one of them I have used my strimmer, I was going to say, not gardening today, my trimmer, and precision trimmer, and I have folded this and scored it in half across the middle. Now when you've got an oval like that, I find it quite hard to figure out just exactly where the centre is, because there's no real flat edge to put it, and you could sort of get it a little off skew. So what I tend to do is just hold it, roll it over and pinch just at the corners here and here, and then that leaves me a little mark, and I can score directly down between the two, and hopefully that helps you too, because sometimes that's quite difficult to do. And then I've just scored another little bit up here, so this is a mountain fold, and then I've done a little valley fold here, and that is roughly a centimetre. It doesn't really matter exactly, but I'm going to glue that one right onto the top of here. And just to make sure that you get that in the right place and you haven't got it just off centre again, make sure you lay the full card down like that, and then just glue that one and hold it in place. So you've guessed it, it's an easel card, and it's quite a tall easel card, and it's really, really beautiful. You could use this as a layering set and just layer this on top of something, but I think this is a really, really nice way to use it to its maximum potential, and it means that you're really, really seeing this oval off to its fill, showing it off to its fill. So there we are. You're just going to make sure that everything is perfectly aligned on the whole oval, not just that top piece, and that way you know it's all in the right place. And now you've got the bones of a little easel card, and that will sit up like this. And the next thing you want to do then is lay this back down flat again, and we're going to glue this part onto here. Now this will not move properly if you get any glue in that top part, so the easiest way to do this is just put glue on the bottom part there, and that way there's no problem. So you just put glue all around there, just keep it slightly back from that part there and from the fold line, and put some in here, and again we're going to lay that full oval right down there and get it directly on top and perfectly aligned, and just press that down. Then now you can lift this up, and if you want to just reinforce all of that, go ahead, and you'll be able to come in here in below that part and press that down, and everything is fully attached. So now you've got an easel card with the top on it. It comes like this, opens up, and it will set up like this whenever we've finished with it, because I'm going to make a little stopper for there. this is where the fun begins with the rest of the set, because it is just so pretty, and you can start bringing other elements in as well. But I have taken the large oval and I have used this one inside it, and then I've also used this one inside. Now, just with years of practice, because obviously I've been doing this for a long time, it's not me being smart, it's just practice that does it. I have taped the three of those together and put them through my die cutting machine just like that. But if you're not confident with that, make sure you do these singly. You can cut the oval out first. When you've got the oval done, then you can cut this piece out of it, and then you can go ahead after that and take this piece out. That way there's going to be no problem at all with your dies, because if you haven't got strong enough tape holding those down, or you're not careful in the first place with the placement of them, one might just accidentally move over the other one, and if you run it through your die cutting machine like that, you're going to ruin your dies, and that's the last thing you want whenever you've paid for them. So I've got that cut out then, as I said there, in the Berry Fizz. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. And I'm going to glue that directly on top of the card. So this is the very top of the card. And I'll go ahead and glue that one in first of all. Next, I have used this beautiful die again. Now obviously the stitching doesn't show now on that bit, but it will show on here. We've covered it up unfortunately on there. But now I've cut this piece out and I just placed it over a lovely part of the paper on there that had the flowers sort of centrally on them, and I'm going to glue that right into the center. Obviously I could have cut the whole thing out in an oval and placed this on top of it, but I just wanted to show you that you can do it either way, and I think this is really lovely because I'm liking a bit of white space here, and I'm just going to talk you through my thought process as I'm doing this with the balance and making sure everything's sort of lined up properly. So it can go there, because it's totally symmetrical. Sorry, I should have shown you first. It could go this way or whatever way you like. I like it this way. Now to balance that up, whenever it's going to be standing like this, I have cut another one of these pieces again, just in exactly the same way, and I'm going to turn it over and lay it down on top of this part of the card, and then just make a little mark up at the top there where it needs trimmed off. So it'll just be like that, and I'm going to come just slightly in from the fold line up there, just there, and I'll trim across that and then glue it directly into that base. Because the glitter card is quite thick, it actually makes a natural little stopper there, but the card is at quite a low angle and I prefer it to set up just a little bit more than that. I don't like an awful lot of this showing, but I do like a bit more. So I have fussy cut two of the little flowers from the paper pad, and I've put a little 3D foam pad in the back, and I'm just going to glue one on here and one on here. And then the card will sit up just a little bit higher, and that balances the whole thing, because my thinking behind that is we've got lots of white here with the white on here. I've balanced the flowers from the top to the bottom, and I've also got the glitter card on the top and bottom as well. And then I have cut a little sentiment, so I've gone to another little go-to set that I have here, and this one is the Autumn Sentiments die set, but they're not all autumn in it. And I have picked Hello this time. So we've got Hello, Fall, Grateful, Smile, Inspire, Thankful and Autumn. And I have die cut the background die from it in the white there. And then I have got the Hello in glitter card, and that stands out really beautifully on that. And I'm going to put it across here, maybe off to one side. I'll just see how I feel whenever I get that glued together. I thought it looked really, really lovely across there, but I think I want to bring a little bit of sparkle to the centre of these flowers, so I'm just going to add some honey gold glitter drops around this area here. Not too much, because I've already got a lot of purple glitter there, but I do think that I want just a little bit more. Goodness, I'm going out all bling today. And there we are. And now I'm going to let that sit aside, because when I get it to that stage, sometimes I forget and put my hands in it. But what do you think? Isn't that lovely? Now I'm going to make an actual card base from 2 ovals. So I've cut the outer oval twice, and on the second one I have just scored right across the top, and you can see there it's probably about 3/4 of a centimetre down. It's not, I didn't measure it, you can just see it's just a tiny little bit. And then exactly opposite that I have taken off the tiniest sliver. You can hardly even see it. I was going to show you the piece, but I think it has just fallen off my desk. But it's a tiny, tiny, tiny piece, and it's just enough to make the card not rock whenever that stands up. So all I'm going to do now is go ahead and glue this directly across here and add the front oval onto that, and that's my oval card made. There are different ways of doing that. You could obviously put the oval dies over a piece of folded card and just make sure the top edge of the die is across right over the top, so that it's not cutting out 2 separate pieces. But I quite like this way of doing it. Now that little bit that I cut off on the bottom there is so little you can hardly see it, but it just makes all the difference whenever you come to stand your card up, because the card stands perfectly straight like that and doesn't rock back and forwards the way it would if that was totally rounded like the front edge. But because it's in at the back, you don't see it, and it just serves its purpose, does its job, and stays quiet. This time I thought I would like a floral frame around it, so I used the 3 dies in the same way as I used them on the glitter card, and I got this one, and that is really rather pretty, but it's not the look I was going for. So I have that, I can use it on another card, and I might come back to that within a minute or two, but I thought I would rather have this kind of a frame, so I'm just going to show you how I made that. You'll still need the 3 dies, but you'll only be cutting 2 of them out. So I placed this one directly onto the card like that. I'll just set it on here to show you. Placed it onto the card like that and taped it down on the outside edges of it. And then I came in with this one, placed that in and got it perfectly aligned, and just held that down and set this one in, aligned this one, and I really should show you where I put the tape. First of all, I put tape on the outside edge of this one, and then I came in with more tape, and I didn't tape this second one down at all, just the middle one, and I have put some tape in here like that. And then I can remove this one and add more tape to these just to hold them perfectly in order, and then ran that through the die cutting machine, not as a double card of course like that, but on the piece of paper, and that gave me this shape because this one wasn't in there and it didn't cut it out. But if I'd cut the 3 of them together, then I would get this shape. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue that on and make myself that beautiful floral border for right round the outside of the card. Now there's lots of other ways I could have done that. That would be really, really beautiful too if I had put this center die back in again and cut an aperture through there and left that open, and then you'd be able to see through to the back of the card. That's another way of doing that one. But what I have done this time then is I've taken the smile, to the 2 dies from the die set that I showed you a minute or two ago, and I have cut one of them in Midnight Plum mirror card and backed that onto the white. And then I've taken this central die in white this time, and I'm actually just going to give it a slight little bend. I don't want to fold it, I don't want a fold line down the center, but just wait until the sentiment, whatever sentiment you've put on, is totally glued down and well stuck before you try that. And then I have taken little 3D foam pads. So this is the bigger ones, and I'm just cutting that in 3, and I'm actually just going to use 2 of these on each side. So quite close out to the edge, I'm putting down one, taking off the backing for that and putting another one directly on top. So you can see then that this will obviously is going to give a little bit of dimension, and you're going to see exactly where that stands there. So first of all, I need to put some glue down the center part because I want that to stick down to the center of this, and then these two pieces here then will sit up and just doubly secure that. So get it centered right in there and hold that down, and you'll see already that it's sitting up, and it's really, really lovely. It just gives you that great dimension on it. It might actually look better from this angle where I am, better than on camera, but it does look lovely. Now I want to add some more detail on here, so I'm just going to fussy cut a couple of little flowers and add them on here, and some foliage possibly as well. Definitely some flowers. I've got the little flowers on there and sort of balanced the left with the right on it. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some foliage in. So I'm just going to show you this little die set that is another one of my go-tos. It's called the Golden Falling Leaves die set. And I think it was sort of launched as an autumn set, but to be honest, it covers so many different possibilities because you've got Christmas, autumn, and just general foliage. Everything's there. And I tend to cut out a lot of these pieces in colours that match in with my projects, and there's all sorts of sizes from these tiny little things to the great big ones there, and I've actually got a video showing how I've used those before, and I'll link that down below. But what I love to do is just take a strip that matches my card and run a few of them through the die cutting machine, tape them all down together, one pass cuts them all out, and then I've got lots of little bits of foliage that I can add in here. And because I usually just put a glue in the centre of the flowers, that means that I've got little areas here where I can tuck foliage in, and all I need to do now is put a little bit of glue on here and a little bit on here and tuck that in there. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add some more of that in, and then to finish this one off, I'll add some of these glitter drops into the centres of the flowers again, just to give it a little bit of extra sparkle. I've got an A6 card here this time, and I've had to go a little bit ahead with this one because I'm using the Midnight Plum card again, and it was very, very shiny and it was kind of glaring in the light. So I'll talk you through what I've done already. I've used this large oval, and I've cut an oval out in the Midnight Plum. I cut it out of this card, and then I used the little frame that I used the 3 dies for and put the floral one and glued that directly on top. So that meant that there was this exposed Midnight Plum shiny piece in the center, and I've added the white die cut from the little center die in this set into the center of that, and I've used it on 3D foam pads. So that has got me to this stage, and then I've got 3D foam pads in the back of that, and you can see that I've put them slight in from the edges so that I'm going to be able to tuck foliage or whatever I want in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on there. Now at this stage, that card then could be either landscape or portrait, just whichever way you like. I'm actually not sure which way I will end up with this one, because as I look at it, I can see the hearts going this way, and it probably is supposed to go in a portrait orientation, but I really like it this way as well, so I'll think about that for a moment. I decided on the landscape orientation after much ado. So I have then gone for a little sentiment from the Sentiment Selection of Sentiments die, and this is some really, really fabulous. It's got just for you, birthday wishes, lots of love, good luck, someone special, bride and groom, many thanks, sending big hugs, and deepest sympathy. So there's lots of things in there. You might already have that or something like it, but I love this little one here because there are actually 3 dies in this set, in this one, and it's got the larger outer one, which I've cut in Berry Fizz. Then I have cut the next one in white, and then I have cut this one and this one together in the Midnight Plum mirror card, and I have glued the mirror card on top of the plain white one, and I'm going to add that on there, and then I'm going to add that onto here with 3D foam pads. Now, because I'm gluing this one directly onto a glitter card, I do need to put quite a bit of glue on it and just hold it for a minute or two, or just leave it aside, because it takes glue a little while longer just to adhere to that rougher surface, but when it attaches properly it's really well stuck, so there's not a problem. But you just don't want to be fiddling about with that or moving it until it's properly set. And then I'll add that with a 3D foam pad onto here, and because I have left this area here, as you can see, is raised up from the card, I'll be able to tuck foliage or whatever I want in there, and even in here if I want as well. I tucked some foliage in down at the bottom here, some nice feathery stuff, and I didn't want to cover the white too much, so I've left these two areas free from foliage. And then I cut some little flowers and just popped them in behind there, because with the 3D foam pads that meant I could slide something in if I liked. And again, I've added some of the honey gold crystal drops, and I'm just going to lay that aside until it dries as well. For my fourth and last card then with this die set, I've decided to use this in the portrait landscape. So this is an A6 card, and I've taken this die and I've laid it on top, and then obviously you'd have to remember to leave the card open, and I ran that through the die cutting machine, and it gives this beautiful laser cut effect to the front of the card. And you could put possibly a piece of vellum or something in behind that, or you could leave it just as it is. In fact, you could even make it into a tent card with a little gusset in below, the way I've done before in some other videos, and put a little battery tea light in there, and that would show through there. But this time I wanted to go with this, and then I have got, obviously because I've been die cutting quite a bit, I've got quite a few of these pieces left, and I just picked out one that I really liked here, and I was going to put that on there. But I've also got this piece that I cut out from another one, actually my first card I think, and I just want to show you how you can make a little offset shadow for this if you want. And I am going to cut this from point to point right up the center like that. Now I'm going to show you how you can just add it on here, and that will give you a little shadow down the side of it. But you need to remember just to nip off those little points, because they're going to poke out at the bottom of your card below that. So just nip off both of those and you're good to go. On both sides, of course. And now all you need to do is glue one directly on top of the other. So I'm going to put glue down here, and again, because this is a glitter card, it will take a minute or two more to dry, but it has a really strong bond whenever it is dry, so no worries after that. But there you are, and it gives you just that beautiful little outline. And of course you can do that, I've actually just got one here ready to show you as well. You can nip it in half across the top and have half of it this way, and have that drop shadow up there instead of along the side. And again, you would just nip off these two little points in each one of them. So there we are. Just while I'm doing this, I would love to know if you have any tips and tricks on how you enjoy just using a die set differently and chopping it and changing it. See, like that, just that gorgeous little border down there. So any different ways you have of using some of your dies, I'd love to know. You can let me know that down in the comments below. Well, I glued that on, and I put my sentiment on the top on 3D foam pads, and I was going to add a sort of a loose leaf piece of vellum in the middle. And then I just thought that the glitter that was showing around here was just an offset and looks really, really beautiful. So I went ahead with the two dies, the outer one and the next one in, and I cut this, and I'm actually just going to glue this in behind here and offset that slightly, just so that you see a little drop shadow in behind that. And that then will be sort of, it'll tie in with the sides of this, it'll match that, and it will make that stand out just a little bit more. And I think that's going to be really, really pretty. So all I need to do is add glue to this area and to these areas here, and then set that on top and look through from the front and offset that, and I'll show you it at the end. I like that. That just finishes that off, and it really helps the look of the card. And I love the white space in that one. Sometimes I add lots of pattern and lots of detail and I don't leave much white space at all, but all I want to do now is add a little bit of glitter glue again to here. You know, as if there wasn't enough bling with all that on, but anyhow, I am going to do this. I like that, and I just add a little bit around there, and that's it. There you are. You can let me know what you think of that. And I really just, I know I've said this before in the video, but I just love the challenge of sitting down with 1 or 2 dies and seeing what I can do with it. It sort of stems way back from when I started crafting, first of all, with dies and punches, and I didn't really want to spend an awful lot of money on them, and I just stretched them until I could stretch no further. And someday I think I'm going to go back and lift out the first punch I ever had and do a little video showing you all of the different ways that I used that one single punch. And if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can let me know, and I hope possibly during the holidays I'll get a little chance to do that. If not, hopefully I'll get it done soon. But that way you sort of learn how to stretch your supplies, and then you can add them into the newer stuff as you get it as well, and make sure that you don't just get single uses out of everything that you buy, and enjoy yourself in the process. And I've loved every minute of this. Thanks very much for watching. There's my lovely little easel card. Very simple to put together. This one has the lovely dimension, and I'm not sure that you're getting the full impact of that on the video, but it looks lovely from here. It's almost like a little book where the book leaves are setting up. And then we've got this one and this one. So thanks again. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that and hit the notification bell so that you'll see all the rest of the videos as they come up. And leave me a little comment if you have enjoyed it. Let me know. Give me a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it as well. And I'll see you soon, but my affiliate links to everything in the meantime will be down in the description of this video. If there's anything at all you're interested in, if you've already got it, enjoy it, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.